Yeah, so the Lakers, you know,
We love you,
rec-
Jeanie.
recently sold
That's gonna be the first game. Y'all gonna hear that.
recently sold to Mark Walter for a whopping $10 billion last year. And with doing so, Jeannie had fired her siblings, Jesse, Joey, and Janie, who were, well, one of the brothers, if not both, were employed. She fired all of them. Mark and his team kind of went in and, laid off a bunch of people as well. And, the Lakers were turning over the franchise to a newer model, as the word in LA says dodgering the front office for the Lakers. That's what the word
That's
is.
what they said. Dodgering.
Yeah, yeah. Dodger sizing the Lakers front office, meaning like more model layout of personnel and resources and all this stuff. Because obviously, as we know, the Lakers are family owned, mom and pop business, albeit it's an NBA team. So money is limited to a certain degree. They're not backed by big corporations. Well, they're backed by big corporations, but not in the sense of
Not
the
like hedge
the
funds.
yeah, exactly. And the net worth of the Buss family compared to Mark Walter, who she sold to. Within that, by selling the shares, the late Jeanie Buss owns and the Buss family owns 17.8% of the franchise. So about a year later, Mark Walters decides to sell his share of the Lakers to Bob Iger and Josh Kushner. Bob Iger, the once head of Disney and ESPN, and Josh Kushner he's a financial guru, owns a bunch of hedge funds, is in politics, and not to the degree of his brother, obviously, but definitely has some financial reach. So just what's this? Yesterday, 2 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
Sham Charania, breaking news: the Buss family has sold their remaining stock share or remaining share of the Lakers, which now ends the Buss era for the Los Angeles Lakers, and now full ownership. Well, I mean, they already had ownership, but now they would Josh and Bob Iger would own 83% of the Lakers, which makes them the ultimate CEOs and governors, but also removes Jeanie Buss as governor. There is a rule in the NBA that if you have 15% or more of ownership in an NBA franchise, you can be one of the board of governors. Jeanie is that. So, I mean, there is a lot to unpack here. A lot of questions, a lot of just like, why is this going down? How is this going down? And essentially, it's just it doesn't make it does. There's a lot that's missing from all this. Before I get into it, like, what do you guys think about like what's going on and the ramifications and to top it off, the Dodger sizing, whatever the front off right now, all that shit is put on like hold because there was a tug of war and legally about who was if Jeanie, because again, let me not parse what I say. This like the sale between Mark Walter and Bob Iger and Josh Kushner that is pretty much done.
Mm-hmm.
This issue doesn't affect that sale. So
Mm-hmm.
Josh and Bob are still going to be the owners of the Lakers. It's just now Jeannie's fighting her siblings on who has say in selling the shares because there's a tag along provision. And I'll explain all of this after your thoughts, but there's a tag along provision within that. And in 2017, when Jeannie sued her brothers, Jim and
Was it Jesse? Is it Jesse?
I think it's
It's a lot
no
of J's.
Joey and Jesse are the younger brothers. It's Jim and I think John.
A lot of J's. I'll factor check. Keep going.
When she went to court in 2017, she and the trust the trust basically said that Jeannie is the end all be all. She is the say so of the trust, and she's the governor of the trust, and there's two trustees, right? And Janie, her sister, is like the co-trustee. And so was Joey, if I'm not mistaken. So, and in the trust, it was stated that Joey and Janie have the responsibility of ensuring that 15% or more of the Lakers are still in the trust and leaves Jeanie as the governor of that trust. So Jeanie has the say so in that 2017 beef, right? And that's how like she won that, right? Fast forward to now, the tag along provision is basically so basically, if you sell the Lakers at 10 billion, and then Mark Walter you sell it to Mark Walter. Mark Walter turns around, it sells over 12 billion, 12 and a half because you're on that tag along provision, you now get to cash out off that evaluation of the $12.5 billion, not as what you originally sold it as, because you get to go along with every sale of the franchise, right? So if the evaluation goes up in another 5 years, whatever, then you're not stuck at that $12.5 billion. You're stuck at whatever that new evaluation is on the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So because when Mark took over and Jeanie fired everyone, there was a not too settling emotion between the siblings, which then invoked a 5-0 vote on selling the franchise because of the tag-along provision. But the legality issue is that in the trust itself, Jeanie controls the trust.
Mm-hmm.
But throw in your thoughts, and I'll give a timeline, and I'll break this down a little bit further.
They try to tried and did slimed out. That's basically all I can say about that. That's crazy.
They're trying to cash out early before she says she gave the final go.
And yes.
I don't know why HBO, or we know why HBO canceled the show, but this would have been part 2. This would have been like season 9.
Yeah, this
would have been like season 11. Extended edition.
Because remember, in that winning time,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't even get the Kobe and Shaq years, because that was going to be the next season. Was the Kobe and Shaq years. They didn't even do that.
I thought that was all Magic, and that shit was all Magic and Showtime.
No, I know, but they were.
But they were trying to do.
The plan was to do it through the Kobe and Shaq era, and then get to the LeBron
we would have
era.
got 10 seasons, man.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah,
what were they cooking, man?
Yeah. So to break it all down, the issue. So the question is whether or not the Buss family can sell the remaining 17.8% of the Lakers to Bob and Josh. The issue is the tag-along provision, which means if Mark were to sell, as I said, his shares, in which he did, the Buss family would have the opportunity to tag along to Mark's sale of his shares at the same evaluation, which was at $12.5 billion. The family voted 5-0. Now, the crazy thing is when the family voted, the supposed document came, well, at least if not a document, Jeanie got wind of the vote and did not even budge, didn't even acknowledge it, because in her mind, she has the legal right to say, that can't happen without my say-so. All right? So keep that in mind. The family voted to sell 5-0, which was Jesse, Jeanie, Jeanie, oh my God, Jesse, Joey, Jeanie, Jim,
a lot of J's,
and John. I forgive.
Yeah, it is
forgive
John.
me. It is John. Okay,
okay.
John.
Yeah,
and
Johnny.
John. So
yeah,
Johnny. So that's the 5 siblings. Jeannie's the 6th. Now they agreed. All 5 of them agreed, unanimous vote, to sell the $12.5 billion. Again, the reason why they did that was 1, they saw this opportunity, and then 2, there is a little underlining. I think that because Jeanie fired. Think about it. Jeanie fired There's no relatives working in the franchise right now, but her friends are still there, the Rambi and all that stuff. And she still has controlling, she still remains the governor of the Lakers, right? So it's like, you want to have your cake and eat it too. The problem is that Jeannie's position is that the 5 siblings that voted to sell don't have the right to do so, because she is the controlling owner of the Lakers and the family trust that owns the shares. So it's not even just the 17.8 is in the trust, and which Dr. Buss has invoked that she is the controlling owner of the trust. And that's where it gets tricky, because she's the owner of the trust and they have the tag-along provision, they don't know what's going to hold up in court. And that's why this is probably going to go to court.
So pretty much,
I think she's going to win.
Yeah.
So alongside this, there are three.
They did some dumbasses, man.
Yeah, there are 3 co-trustees for the trust, which are Jeanie, and Joey, that changed in 2017. There is a court order that requires the other co-trustees, that's Jeanie and Joey, to continue to vote for the trust to have at least 15% of the Lakers, and for Jeanie to remain the controlling owner of the Lakers. And Jeanie is standing 10 toes down on that court order being in effect still to this day. So that's why there's this tug of war issue right now, because in the event that, let's just say Jeanie says, okay, like, F it, we're going to sell it. No longer Buss family owns the Lakers now. They're out. So Jeanie still wants to have that control.
Sad, though, man.
It is sad. It is very sad.
If people know how much, man, this meant to their dad, bro, to see how this, like people, I've seen everybody saying it, and if you watch that show, Succession, this is really succession
Yeah.
in real life.
You know, like Dr. Buss bought the Lakers in '78, and I think he bought it for $60 million,
His
$62
baby.
million.
And that's a lot of money back then,
And he
bro.
took out loans for that. He didn't even have the real bread.
Right. He didn't even have the real bread for it.
From Kent Cook.
You know,
it's a lot of money.
There is a lot. Like my question is though, like, how can I put this? Like, if because there's this plan, right? Like there was this plan that her and Mark Walter, and it's in writings in the sale contract that she will be the governor for the next 5 years. Well, 4 years now because last year happened, so 4 years, right? What's is the end goal for you to be the governor for the next 4 years and then pass it off to now Bob and Josh and say that's it? Like what is I guess for me it's like what's the issue of not selling now and then possibly getting out later? Like I don't know. Like it's just like what's the end game for her in a sense?
It's better to have more time than to just be like, damn, cut it off.
Maybe she's willing to cash out later than now, but I don't know.
I mean, reports have come out and said that she's willing. I don't know how true this is. So like again, don't like aggregate it or whatever the case may be. But like there is reports that there's an avenue where she's willing to buy out the siblings and still and while she still keeps her shares and still remains governed. I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, this is a lot of legal stuff and a lot of court documents and lawyer talk. So this is going to go into court. This is going to drag on for sure because the Buss siblings came out with a statement yesterday evening and said that we're standing basically 10 toes down on this, that we have the right to sell. So this is going to be nasty. I just think
dumbasses though.
I just think from an operational standpoint, this because like think about it. If you're Rob Pelinka, right? Like who are you tied to? You're tied to Jeanie. But it also like begs the question, like Bob and Josh, do they want Jeanie out? Because like if they were entertaining buying the rest of the shares from the siblings, like so like if you're Rob Pelinka, like all right, is Jeanie in or out? I don't know. I personally think Jeanie's staying because like I think she has the upper hand. I think with the court document back in 2017. But like if it comes down to them just saying, yo, we don't want to deal with this family drama. Now this bleeds into the season, which is likely going to happen. How does this like affect moves and roster construction and all this stuff? Because Jeanie may think an asset may be worth this, but Bob and Josh were like, whoa, we don't think that.
We don't want the headache. We don't want to deal with that. It's a dysfunctional work environment, man. Yeah. I mean, that's like, that's like signing the contract and not reading the fine print. Ernest, thank you for explaining that.
I will say this though. Say this. The last time the Lakers had this much dysfunction in the front office, we won a chip. I'm just saying.
So did the Drewski.
When Magic said, I'm gonna be here.
We didn't win the championship. Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Ernest, for breaking that down. I was only looking at it from a surface level. I'm like, yo, it's
deep in
family.
the rap.
It's a family feud that's going on. Go ahead, Josh.
Let's put our conspiracy.
Under the Wendy.
Let's put our conspiracy hats on. Luka gets traded to the Lakers 2 years ago. Lakers sell to the Dodgers owner, right? But if anybody knows anything, before you get on an investigation, you know when it's going to happen. You know when it's going to hit. A year before. It's not like, oh, call me out of nowhere, like, whoa, what y'all investigating me for? Right?
So are you saying Mark? Go ahead.
Mark buys the Lakers. You know, how long ago after the Lakers trade? I mean, after the Luka trade that happened?
It was like a couple months.
It was a couple months. It was like a year. It was like a year. So like a half a season because he got traded. And then the following season,
so
the Lakers sold.
So when you buy a team for $1 billion, $10 that's in talks. When that Luka trade was happening, right?
Now, now here's the crazy thing. As a side, Mark did have first say. That like because he was in like the list of the owners that the Lakers had along with the Buss family, Mark had first say. So like if Jeanie wanted to sell, the only person, the one who could veto it and say, I got first say is Mark.
Okay. So, technically, I don't know, because I don't got $1 billion. But when you buying something for $1 billion, you don't just, That doesn't just happen in 2 days. That's months of talk.
You negotiate that. Yeah, you have conversations.
So it became confirmed that he bought the Lakers months after the Luka trade. And he knows he's being investigated because you don't just get investigated by the feds, by the way. Everybody knows when the feds is on their tail. A year before at least. Right? And now he conveniently sells the Lakers to Trump's family.
Well,
the feds investigated him. Sells it. Trump's family.
Yeah, but Josh
this is interesting. This is I
get what you're saying.
It's very convenient that everything just, what did Trump say? No, not Trump. I mean, but he did, Trump is known for corruption. We know this. We saw the FIFA World Cup. We saw how he told like, yo, take that red card away from Balogun, man. And it worked. And what is that famous video? Corruption is only bad if I'm not involved. I just smell little corruption in this whole Lakers sale for it to be owned by basically the president of the United States family. They got Luka, and everybody wanted to wonder, why did this Luka trade go down? But now we're seeing it unfold. We've seen it unfold.
So you think it's bigger than when the trade happened? Man. It was bigger than what it is. Listen,
probably the biggest international star, Luka, gets traded to the biggest NBA team brand wise. Y'all too, Eric.
That has the biggest star on the roster.
And then now y'all owners come from Disney. Okay, bro. Disney and Trump. Like, come on, all right, bro. Yeah,
I understand where you're coming from. I get the whole Kushner angle, but to be fair, Josh Kushner is not like his brother who is tied to Trump and is married to Ivanka.
It's still family.
Like it's
still blood.
I understand where you're coming from. I do think though the timing of it all raises a question, because the whole investigation for Mark comes out, and then like a secret meeting between him, like how they spin it was like Bob. So this is how they spun the sale between Bob, Josh, and Mark, was that the bids for Vegas were getting way too high. But Josh and Bob were the leaders of this said Vegas NBA expansion team that's going to happen. They felt like, the price is kind of getting too high to buy the franchise because we're trying to outbid all these other billionaires. Plus, they plan to build a new stadium. They're not going to use the same stadium that the Ace is playing. So all of a sudden, the story is they said they got wind that Mark maybe interested in selling. So they just called him and was like, "Yo, we heard you trying to sell. What's the price?" And it's happened. So they said it happened. The conversation happened on Sunday. The sale happened on Tuesday, and was like, and supposedly Adam Silver was in on it. Like he understood and he kind of pushed it forward because the back channels is like the NBA already got this like smear campaign with this Kawhi thing, and now they don't want this extra Mark Walters thing hanging over their heads as well. So supposedly Adam Silver was like, "Yeah, we're gonna push this through." And then because all the owners, like, and again, the cover up, it's all alleged. The cover up is that Josh and Bob were already approved through the owners to buy the Lakers because they were already approved to buy the expansion team. So it wasn't like they had to go through all these loopholes or all these things to kind of get approved to buy the Lakers, because obviously if the Lakers are on the market, everybody's going to want a piece. Mm-hmm. So there is just a lot of just like questionable stuff, obviously, with this whole thing. There's obviously way more to this story than it is on the surface. But as for now, the siblings are fighting. It has no effect on the sale between Mark and Bob and Josh. And we're just going to try to figure this all out. I just hope it doesn't trickle down to the point where we can't make roster moves, because that's what I'm afraid of. Right now, my stance is, because of this thing that's happening, obviously, right now, the Lakers have to make moves because we had 17 roster spots filled. We need to cut 2 players or 1 player. So we're either 16 or 17, either one. But obviously there's moves that are going to happen. And I think that's minuscule, but like it does hinder the opportunity to maybe move on these guys that you invested 4-year contracts in, like Quentin Grimes, Walker Kessler. I'm just saying, these guys, you sign these guys to long-term deals, that's an investment. And I'd be hard-pressed to believe that Rob Pelinka has the green light to still operate and do what the hell he wants to do with the ownership in flux. That's all.
Yeah, just like Jay-Z said, nobody wins when the family feuds.
Yeah, and they feuding.
Nobody wins.